Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Doug. Blessed to have you here. Today's session, we're going to focus on balance. We're going to utilize rooting into our mat, building through the structure of our skeleton, utilizing our muscles to support that structure, and finding our flexibility, our grace, even when we're not on, say, even footing. So when you're ready, I will meet you on your mat in just a moment. So we'll start off in a nice, easy, laying down, restful pose. So just extend your legs out long when you're ready. Roll that back of yours all the way down. Give your body a little shimmy, a little shake, and then let those heels extend. Arms fall by your side. Palms can shine up to draw in some strength. Palms can rest on your mat to release some tension, some anxiety. Wherever you're at, take a few breaths in, just nice full inhales. And let those breaths out. And as you exhale, allow for your heart, allow for your front ribs, your front hips, your quads, your kneecaps, your shins, just to slowly dissolve towards your mat, your foundation. And as you breathe in, build from that earth up, back through those spaces that were just once dissolved. Let go once again, letting those legs, your arms, your biceps, your elbows all float down. One more big breath in. You're doing fantastic. Just let that breath of yours bubble all the way up. Maybe your belly button reaches and kisses your sky. As you exhale it out, wiggle the toes. Start to roll out through your ankles and float your right thigh into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Wrap your right fingertips around your right chin and just give yourself a nice hug. Before you can reach up towards your knees, just opening up that back. And as you find this squeeze here, really press into your lower back here. Feel that connection rolling up to the hips, intertwining through that right thigh, right femur head into your right heel. Take one more breath in. And again, as you exhale, strengthen into that root. So you're pressing a little bit of energy into your earth, and you can feel that energy being released or rising back up into your back equally. Carefully as you inhale, extend your right leg out long. And let's take our left knee into our chest. We're just opening up, warming up our hips, warming up our legs. Give yourself that same stretch forward to meet your knee. And again, grounding through your back, allowing for that extension, your tailbone to draw towards your extended heel. We're just here for 2 more breaths in. Perhaps you squeeze your elbows close to your side bodies, giving yourself a little compression. Last one. Hold for your exhale, forehead reaches towards your knee. Inhale, extend your left leg out long. And then once again, just soften your shoulders down to your mat. Open your arms up towards the back of your earth, your space. Roll out the ankles, roll out your wrists, and then spread your toes, spread your fingertips nice and wide. Exhale, hug both knees into your chest. This time, give yourself that squeeze. And we're gonna grab behind your hamstrings and softly rock and roll up and down our backs. So as you're rock and rolling, you're straightening and bending your legs, creating a little bit of momentum, and then allowing yourself to find that ability to kind of ride your center of gravity. So take that 2 or 3 more times. And as you ride, you're gonna control that center of gravity by strengthening through your Uddha Bandha lock, that belly button to spine. One more time. And as we rise up, heels are gonna rest down onto our mat. And we're gonna work our hips into our earth, creating a nice connection, a kinetic chain from our hips through our rib cage, shoulders, crown of our head. And as we stack those areas of our body, we can notice how our muscles start to support that energy. Feet stay grounded. We're gonna flex our toes, anchor into your heels, and we're gonna transition into one of our first balancing postures, and we're gonna work into a deep core strength, which is bow pose. So shoulders start to shift back, meaning our center of gravity that was once right here over our hips is gently pulling away from that point. And we have to activate our legs, we have to activate those glutes of yours, you have to activate your front core, your Uddha Bandha lock to strengthen and hold into this pose. And you're flexing your toes and you're finding rigidity, but you're not stone. So there's still these little micro adjustments. You're still finding these wibble wobbles, and your hands can stay on those hamstrings. If you want to go a little bit further, you can always reach your arms out. Take one more full breath in. I know we're doing a lot of work really early. As you exhale, cross your ankles, wrap your arms around your shins, and give yourself a few nice deep cat-cow seated. So inhale, cow through. And as you lift up, maybe you squeeze your arms in towards your legs, getting a little stretch on those outer hips, those IT bands, and exhale, cat your back, chin into your chest. Let's take this 2 more times. Big breath in, cow through, opening up, good work. As you exhale, cat your spine. 1 more time, big breath in. 1 more time, big breath out. And we're not going over the top here. We're not overdoing any examination just yet. We're just prepping our body. So now we're going to travel into our tabletop and just discovering a little bit of gentle balance here. So as we find our tabletop, shoulders stacking up and over our wrists, soften your elbows, hips up and over your knees, tops of your feet are grounded on your mat, and we're just gonna slowly bend those elbows and tuck them in. So as you're rolling or rotating those elbows in, your hands stay planted, and there's that spiraling energy that wraps from the earth all the way up into your shoulders, and the same energy is kind of driving down those limbs of yours. And once we find this foundation, we're gonna keep our shoulders stacked. We're gonna just step our left foot back, tuck those toes for a moment, find that balance on those 3 pillars, and on your inhale, lift your left heel. And we're gonna try to keep that left hip of ours in line with our right. We're gonna let our pelvic bone really square itself off to our mat, and then as you strengthen in, tuck your lower ribs in, send your tailbone towards your left toe. Take 1 more breath in. As you exhale, lower that left knee of yours, yeah. And just give yourself a little sweat. Again, our core is strong and active from that bow pose. So now we're just kind of utilizing that strength and working through. So whenever you're ready, let those hips stack up and over, step the right foot back, tuck those toes. And then create that foundation. Maybe dig your fingertips in a little bit deeper, bend those elbows, and then draw your right heel up. You're gonna feel your heart lifting out because you're sending power back, so you have to send equal power forward. Just as you're pressing down into your mat, power is opening you up towards the sky. Take 1 more inhale. As you exhale, bend that right knee, bring it back through. And again, just sway out those hips. So we're gonna add on our arms, and if you'd like to, you can flip and add on the opposite leg. So grounding down first, left hand will stay where it's at. We're gonna reach our right arm out. And you can stay here, this is a great one, just to feel this transition. You want to go a little bit further, step that left leg back. Take that moment, notice that transition. And then you can always lift the left heel. And we're finding that equilibrium. Left shoulder stacking up and over your left wrist. Left hip is floating freely, but your right hip is still stacking over that right knee of yours. Take 1 more big breath in, lengthen through, your heart is extending out just as much as your heel is pressing out. Exhale, release your right hand, release your left shin down. Give that back of yours a nice little sway. So you can feel ourselves really active in that core of ours, a nice strong engagement around our trunk, not just emanating from our center, but entire body. So you're gonna feel those sides, you're gonna feel that back. So as we ground into our right hand, we're gonna extend our left arm out. And instead of our left shoulder reaching towards our ear, try to pull your left shoulder towards your left hip. Left shin stays grounded, tuck your right toes, kick your right heel back. And we're just finding that balance, finding that center, and then lift your right heel. As you discover this energy in your shoulders and your core, tuck that tailbone, kick your right heel back, and we're here just for 3. And just letting your breath control here. 2, smiling a little bit, just having fun. Last 1, let your left hand drop down, right shin to your mat, sway it out, give yourself a little bit of stretch. So we're gonna tuck our toes and we're gonna work our way into a downward facing dog. We're gonna slow it down so you can really find that gentle balance and where your strengthening is. So as we grip onto our mat, tuck those toes, send your heels back, take a deep breath in. We're gonna keep that nice little crease in our hips as we draw our knees away from our mat. On your exhale, just float your knees maybe an inch or 2 off your mat. Press those heels, kick your heels back. Feel your sit bones drawing towards the back of your mat while your crown of head pulls forward. Holding for just 1 more breath in, good work. Squeeze those inner thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back and then pedal out your legs. Nice little sweeping action, letting go of some of that tension. We're here just. Take one more big breath in. Nice strong exhale. As you inhale, let your eyes travel to the top of your mat. Tiptoe your feet to meet your wrists. Take your moment. When you get to the very top of your mat, let's keep our feet hip width distance apart for right now. Bend your knees, chin into your chest. On your breath in, slowly start to roll up. Take your time to appreciate where your center of gravity is, how you find it, even with your eyes closed. And as you exhale, let any tension that sits at the very top of your physical body, let it just rumble and tumble down. And as your arms hold by your side, seal those lips when you're ready. As you inhale, take a second, breathe all the way into your feet. Let that breath of yours wrap around your edges between your toes, down through your heels, and rise up almost like boots growing into a full suit, crown. And as you Ujjayi exhale, let all of that foundation bring you to this moment. Gently, when you're ready, blink open your eyes. We're gonna flow or move through a really soft and easy warm up, and then we'll get right away into those balances. So as you inhale, let your arms flow towards your sky, and your fingertips are just gonna rise. Palms radiate towards one another as your shoulders release down your back. Drop your tailbone towards your heels. Let that activation of your lower transverse abdominals help to connect your hips towards your earth. Take one more breath in. Exhale. Softly bring your hands towards your heart. We're gonna root into our right foot. Lift our left heel. Revisit our first day of practice. And then step that left leg of yours back. Big toe to touch. Heel to seal itself to your mat. And then just rise back up into your warrior one. As you're finding this balance here, your center of gravity is shifted, your legs are separate in a far greater space. And just take that moment. Maybe your hips balance, your shoulders are still floating lovingly over those hips. Take one more breath in. Hands come to your heart center as you exhale. Step your left foot when you're ready to meet your right. No rush, no fuss, no muss. Inhale, arms to rise out. And maybe this time you reach them out in that sagittal plane, and you let those arms of yours stack over your shoulders, and then slowly they birth a little wider. Take one more breath in. Hands come to your heart center. This time your left foot is gonna stay grounded. We're gonna reach our right heel up towards our sky, and then step that right foot of yours back. Big toe lands first, and then the rest of your foot. Square your hips. Inhale into your Virabhadrasana A, your warrior one. And just as before, those pinkies of yours travel in. That creates a nice little spiraling energy that tucks your shoulders onto your back, wrapping them into your side ribs. Deepen into that front left shin. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, hands come back to your heart center. Gently step your right foot to meet your left. Big toes don't have to touch, and just give yourself a second. Big inhale in. As you exhale, let our hands fall onto our hips. Elbows can flare out. We're gonna take our first standing balance here. So we're gonna keep those toes grounded. We're gonna slowly start to shift our weight into our toes. Lift those heels off your mat. And don't worry about how high you can go. Just get to that point that feels comfortable. So we're not trying to push, because sometimes when we reach all the way to the top, we get on that tiptoe dance. Let there be a little bit of shock absorption, yeah. And while we're finding this, look for that point of focus, that drishti. That solid factor. It can be a spot on the wall, it can be a picture, it can be something that just stays out of focus but yet draws your attention. Ooh. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, release your heels down towards your mat. Take a moment. One more inhale. As you exhale, softly bring those toes of yours together. For the rest of today's session, we're gonna be facing each other if you'd like. You can always shift me a little out of your direction, so that way if my failings or fallings may affect you, please get me out of the path, so that way you can just glance over and then go back to your practice. But before we play into the rest of these balancing poses, really do find that point in your room, in your space, that gives you a sense of groundedness. Go ahead, it can be anywhere. And it can always change depending on what pose or posture you're at, as long as it stays consistent within that time frame. Take one more breath in. So we're gonna start off as you exhale, beginning with one of the more grounded and founded postures when it comes to balance, tree. So letting your right leg stay as it is, open up that left hip. Big toe of your left foot will start on your mat, and you're just gonna softly connect your left heel to your right inner ankle. And now your knee is opening up, kind of like a door. So it's not in, but opening out. And that creation of dichotomy of direction of your legs actually provides more stability in this posture. So you really want to accentuate that. Take a second, and now even though your heel and your ankle are barely touching, just squeeze them together a little bit more. You can feel that power rising up through the back and inside of your bent leg and the inner thigh of your extended. And so now we're in tree pose. Hands can come to heart center, arms can rise up. And as you find this tree pose, we're just gonna hold it here for just about 2, letting yourself hold on to that drishti point. That viewpoint, that veranda, that vista, just ahead. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, slowly let your hands find your hips. We're gonna draw that left leg, I should say, back in and readjust. So we're gonna ground through our left leg and open up the right. So same as before, heel, find your inner ankle. You're again opening and finding that external rotation of your right thigh and pressing deeply into the big toe of your right foot. And sometimes you can see here where the hip wants to careen out, and that's actually because of all that force that is pressing in. Slowly extend through. So now there's just this powerful energy from the outer edge of your hip and the top of your bent thigh, bent quad. And now slowly, arms rise up and find that tree pose. And shoulders melt down. Just letting yourself find that balance, that wibble, that wobble. Take one more breath in, good. As you exhale, hands can come back to your hips. Let's draw that right leg in, pedal out those heels, pedal out those legs. So we're gonna take tree pose one more time and maybe add on an extra layer, no matter where you're at, no matter if your roots are different or if it's just simply your eyes have changed. A lot can happen there. So big toes once again come together, heels stay separate, staying grounded in your legs. Let's root through our right foot, open up our left leg. Heel can either find your inner ankle, finding your inner calf, not your inner knee. You want that calf. Any energy that goes into a knee that's going opposite of what, or counterintuitive what it naturally does, bending and swaying forward and back, that's always a negative thing. Last but not least option is inviting your heel all the way into the middle or upper thigh. Wherever you find it, start to press that heel of yours into your leg, press your leg into your heel, and you're gonna feel that squeeze. The energy again wrapping down the outer edges of your legs. And now we're finding our full tree, and we're here for 3. Arms can rise up if that feels comfortable. You can always look up as well. Last but not least, you can close your eyes if it feels good. As you release, hands come to heart center. Relax that left leg, let it lower it down. And now, let's take it to the other side. Rooting into your left foot, open up your right thigh, heel to either ankle, inner calf, or inner upper thigh. Once you find that connection, squeeze your legs together. Feel the energy tracing down your outer edge, just like before. Find your balance. Tailbone, transverse abdominal, doing the exact same energy as your outer thighs. If your arms grow, you can always relax your hand behind your back, intertwine your fingertips, and take a subtle chest expansion by looking up. Woo. One more breath in. As you breathe it out, slowly release down. Right leg to your mat. Find those roots. Press into your grounded feet. Take an inhale in, arms to rise up. Bend your elbows, cactus your arms, chest expansion. Just let your heart open. Release your shoulders down your back. Good. Tuck your tailbone, finding your little bit of balance here. Your heart is traveling back. Your center of gravity is a little bit behind where it normally is. Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, arms to rise up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. So we're going to dive into one more standing balance. We're going to find our eagle pose. This is a large detoxifying posture, and it's going to open up all of the big joints, our hips, our shoulders. It's going to help open up the elbows and the knees. So starting off with the legs, we're going to slowly bend our knees, drop our hips, root into your right foot. Normally the right foot's got a little bit more stability for most of us. If it's a non-dominant foot, then feel free to switch this up. Lifting your left heel, just cross your left leg over your right. You want that hamstring of yours to cross over and above your left knee. You want that left hamstring to land really on your right quad. So here you can see, big toes are all on the mat. We have this foundation. Hips are a little squared more to our feet than to just our own individual solid right foot. Take one more breath in, and now cross your left arm underneath your right. Hands can find your shoulders, or the back of hands can find each other. Take a deep inhale in. As you exhale, bend your knees, sit a little bit lower. If this feels nice and secure and comfortable, feel free to wrap your left foot around your right ankle and add on an even deeper twist and detoxification. Try to keep your shoulders stacking up and over your hips, lifting those elbows. This is a big pose. We're here for 3. 2. Last one. I'm sorry, I fell out there. Good job. Unravel, pedal it out. Goodness gracious. And so it shows you sometimes the brain can shift away. My focus shifted for just a moment, and that's where the balance fell out. So let's take it to the other side. When you're ready, carefully sit back down into Utkatasana, your chair pose. This time we're going to lift our right heel, wrap our right leg up and over our left. Take that same variation, toes on your mat, or perhaps you tuck them behind that left ankle. Carefully, right arm underneath left, hands to shoulders, back of hands. Stack your shoulders up and over your hips. Find that balance. We're here just for the next 3. On 1, slowly unravel. Arms to rise, take a big breath in. As you exhale, relax your hands behind your back. Intertwine your fingers very softly. Big toes are going to stay together. Heels sliver room apart. As you breathe in, let your knuckles melt down. Open up your heart towards your sky. And just let this heart opener happen. Maybe your weight shifts a little bit more into your heels. You feel that security. You have to strengthen a little bit deeper into your Uddha Bandha lock. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, bend your knees, softly forward fold. Feel free to keep your knuckles intertwined. Always release them as well. Last little bit of balance as we descend. Inhale, halfway lift. Knuckles can stay grounded to your tailbone, or you can draw them away. Bigger chest open. As you exhale, release your hands to your mat. Step your feet back, high plank. And then lower your knees. Untuck those toes. Drop your hips down towards your heels and give your body a little sway here. Just for 4. Forehead can start to melt down to your mat. 3. Last 2. On 1, find your child's pose. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, carefully just fall into this posture for the next few rounds. inhale, slowly shift forward into a tabletop. And as you exhale, melt all the way towards your belly for a belly shavasana. Either ear to your mat, whichever is your least or favorite. Take your time, heels pour out, toes tuck in, bend your elbows. Soften through your arms. Nice full inhale. Audible, exhale it out. Last. On your next breath in, gently walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Extend through your legs, take a nice full inhale, maybe a mini cobra. Elbows squeeze together, heart floats out and up. As you exhale, you release your chin, your heart to your earth. Press back up into your tabletop. Slowly cross your ankles. Find yourself in a nice, easy seat. Hands at heart center, chin tucks into your chest, eyes are closed. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out, let it go. On your next inhale, float your hands from your heart to your third eye. And just celebrate your ability to find balance. Not just in your physical body, but in that mind of yours, in that heart. Balancing your relationships, your work and personal life, and all the different planes and spheres that you inhabit. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, bow it forward. Savor the moment. Namaste. Thank you so much. I know balanced play can sometimes be very exacerbating because you can fall in and out of postures, and that can be harmful for the ego. But it's just a reminder that what we play on this mat is exactly that, just play. And so when we are challenged, that just gives us fuel to end, a refocus when we revisit our practice on what we're working towards. So love the fact that you have found edges to what you're doing. That means you're really striving towards incredible things. Have a lovely and fantastic day, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye.